Hi everyone. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
This is our first time on stage, so give us positive feedback. Lots of feedback, and feedback is good. Yeah.
Second time for me.
Yeah.
Today.
Oh, but that's true. You popped your cherry that kind of way. Anyway, we're here to talk about user journeys from action. How to create action between diverse teams that we have in Zalando. But before we get started, as you found out earlier before, we have a professional degree-based circus and trapeze artist. We didn't get the rope in the end, did we?
It's in the car, and it's in the car.
Okay, so we just thought you've been sitting through a few talks, very, very deep and heavy talks, and it looks like some of you, are you asleep back there? Yeah, so some of you are asleep, so we wanted to wake you up, and I thought we would bring an expert to teach us some tricks. Over to you, Onna.
Right, I have a treat for you from my past trade. And it's something really important for circus, but also for workshops, meetings, life in general, and it's warm-up. So I would like anybody who is able to please stand up.
Oh yeah, now you're in.
I promise it's beginner-friendly, and this is a two-parter. Please make letter Y with your body. Great. Sans serif, if you need that. Yeah. Good. And hold it. This is pronounced U in Finnish, which is my native tongue. Next, make a letter I. Great. Up or down. Both work. And now, this is pronounced E in Finnish. I'm making it a little bit easier for myself. Now let's do it together. U, E. Great. Let's do it a little faster. You don't need to say it. I can just warm up my vocals. U, E. Let's go. U, E. 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 Great. You make it down. Thanks for the applause. So nice of you. You can use that at the end of the talk too. So other than the circus artist and the person with the fabulous, you can do the YMCA, that's the next level. Fabulous jacket from Zalando, representing the company all the way. I'm a senior product designer from a B2B team called Connected Retail that I told you a little bit about. And this over here is Adam. Adam is also a senior product designer, like Fiona told us, but from a personalization and profile team. And Adam is really a bar raiser in our company on all kinds of design techniques like creative facilitation and mapping. And yes, his initials are ABC, and he was born on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so lucky for some, unlucky for others. Ask my ex-girlfriends. Anyway, so we're a really big team in Zalando. Who has heard of Zalando? When we go to the US or meet people from America, they're like, are you a startup? Who's bought from Zalando? Okay. And who has a customer complaint? Okay, good. Okay. We'll talk later. And so we're almost 200 designers, copy strategists, and researchers, and analytics as well. We have 23 markets. Yes, we are also available in Brexit land, the UK as well. I have a British passport, still carrying a lot of weight from that. But yeah, we're a large company, and we have a lot to kind of align on and collaborate on, and also to release remarkable products. It's a big organization. So that's what we've come to talk to you about today. Obviously, being the main sponsor, we get a bit of stage time, but we thought we would try and bring you something really interesting and helpful to take back with you as well. We've been working on how to enable this kind of telepathy. Thanks, Mark, for that one. And this kind of connection between product managers, designers, and engineers to better make and release products that are seamless and amazing and accessible for our customers. So, yeah. The challenge that we're kind of facing these days, though, is how do we get our research, and we have an amazing voice of customer team, user research team that is delivering great insights, especially within the COVID. They released a whole new range of insights about new realities, but how do we translate these insights into actionable points that are customer-focused and user-focused, but also based to help teams collaborate when there's intersection and overlap as well. So what we're trying to aim for is a map that kind of does this. It's user-focused intrinsically with data and information, but also enables a common knowledge there as well. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is the solution that we're trying to roll out and develop, also through trainings, but also through different teams, design sprints, etc. And it's a user journey map that combines jobs to be done and success criteria to help create action and goal setting for teams. We at Zalando have adopted this working backwards methodology from Amazon. Really dry book, interesting book. Sorry, Jim, our CEO, also wrote part of it. But it's a great audio book to use when you're reading or on the train or something. So I really recommend that. And this is part of that tool set that we use as designers to help that process. So how do we get started? First, we collect insights and research. We synthesize those jobs with success criteria. We place that on a map and start to look at the overall customer experience that we want to create. And then we start to that's not going to happen. Anyway, we start to find gaps and opportunities for each team to take ownership and drive focus and drive this kind of feature and solution building for our customers. So let's get started with jobs to be done. Who's heard of jobs to be done? JTBD for those cool kids out there. Yeah, so something that comes up a lot is how do we know, or how can customers find out if a digital product, the thing that we put in a box or a makeup or something else, will actually fit them in the real life. But maybe it's not just fitting them in terms of, does this jacket fit me, or these jeans make my bum look big, but how does it also, and is it operational and workable? But then we want to combine that with success criteria. So is it something that is an emotional job, a physical job, so will it actually fit me, or will it fit my style, and also my confidence in terms of this is actually something that I want to broadcast to the world. So with those success criteria, they can come in a bunch of different forms, and obviously the solutions that you build there will be different for the different jobs and the success criteria that you want to create in your team. So we have the jobs. They're often non-solution agnostic. They kind of open up. They're kind of in the middle point of the double diamond. They emphasize on outcomes, and they're stable over time. Then we want to combine those with the maps that we have and we're creating, and the user experience, which can be kind of very solution-driven. It has characters, it has stakeholders, it has touch points. So how do we kind of form and combine these two things that are very separate? And that's where the mapping comes in. My tip for mapping that I use a lot in facilitation is to start either at a very high level. So if you're thinking about Google Maps and you kind of have the flat, round Earth there, and you're kind of at this country level where you can see the cities, you can see the different continents, you can see this level, and you're kind of talking at a very high level. And then what you might want to do is break that high-level mapping down into the roads or the, kind of more details, fill in as you go, and then you might want to look at individual trips and experiences. For instance, how to get to the Edinburgh International Conference Centre from your hotel that's just down the road. And you want to dive that. Or you can go the other way around, so starting at a very detailed, personal, empathetic level, and then look at combining those stories to make like a more meta map that is something that you can use to then connect and create something like this. So this is a map that we use for size and fit. But we've done these maps for beauty, we've done them for sustainability, we've done them also for adaptive clothing. And every experience and every journey with every team is different. And Onna will fill that in just a second. But here you can see the jobs to be done, the success criteria, and the map as well. And then finally, to create that action, you need to kind of map them, cluster them. Maybe you want to put it over an impact over effort. With different teams and the scale of the release that you want to create, you might have different teams and might be able to do this and break this down again and again with the individual teams. That's obviously my mansplained vision and the theory, and that's what you should do in practice. But I want to hand over to Onna, who is an amazing, amazing designer, to actually talk about what happens in the real world.
Thank you, Adam. And this is a cool device. I've never used this before, so let's see how this goes. So from theory to practice. And in theory, it sounds super simple, neat. I want to do it, yes. But before I get to the messy parts or onto the field of B2B mapping, I want to tell you a little bit about our team. Well, I gave a little plug there on the panel already, but I'm from a team called Connected Retail. We are based in Helsinki, all the product team is, and that's my hometown, and that's one of Zalando's tech hubs, or where one of those tech hubs is based also. And the whole idea behind connected retail is to connect physical stores to Zalando platform. And this was started already before pandemic by a small group of really enthusiastic people who really believed in the power of physical retail. And they actually believe that, okay, we are not enemies. E-commerce is not the enemy of physical retail, but we can both benefit from this collaboration. So the stores will get access to Zalando's massive customer base, and Zalando's customers will get wider selection of articles or products, and also the ability to shop locally. And this turned out to be a really good idea during the pandemic, as the team was really trying to onboard as many stores as we could, stores that were relying on those customers coming in, but to transform their business to online. And with that help, our team had to grow. It grew just in 2 years from 47 to 256 people. And as you can imagine, that scaling up brought some challenges into scaling also the knowledge and understanding of the customer experience, and also making sure that we are not trying to tackle the same problem unintentionally at the same time in different teams. And this is when I joined the team. There was attempts on maps, different process maps, blueprints, journey maps, what have you, but these weren't really connected or alive. But before we decided, okay, now we are going to do it for real. We are going to do the mother of all blueprints, and let's get ready. Let's do this the right way. Before choosing a framework, we took a step back and were thinking about, okay, why, what do we want to get out of this, and what are our biggest pain points? And we came up with these three over here. So first of all, we wanted to get the big picture and be able to also zoom into the details. Secondly, we wanted to be transparent and inclusive, not only for where the insights come from. That's sometimes very lost in maps. Do they come from assumptions, or do they come from actual research, and how old was this research? But we also wanted to include people from different parts of the company and different roles and give them ownership. And third, we wanted something to help us guide our prioritization and action taking. So great, now I had the problem definition, and I could go on investigating, okay, what answers do we have in a company? I was talking with designers, product managers, business people, engineers even, a lot of coffee and tea drunk. And I got to Adam, who had something really exciting and fascinating to tell me that he had been working on with a couple of other product designers and researchers. And that was what Adam just presented to you. And we thought that, okay, with this third point over here, that's worth a try. We're gonna try it out. But then, where do we start? Adam didn't really tell us that. They didn't give us a roadmap for that. So we went back to our principle, or our guideline number 1. We wanted to get the big picture, so we thought, okay, great, easy, let's start over there. We quickly also realized, okay, we need to set up the structure to actually connect these different levels that Adam talked about, different maps to one kind of navigation map, or master map, or parent map, let's say. And it wasn't easy. We were having lots of discussions and what is the nicer way for fight?
Fight is good.
Yeah, and we used one of our founding mindset, which is disagree and commit. We had lots of experts, and we finally calmed out, like, okay, how do we divide our process? Or how do we, not the process, but how do we divide this journey? It was really important to go beyond the journey, so what happens before and after, that wasn't necessarily done before, and really take the look at the whole product and experience from the business partner's point of view. And with that, we needed to also narrow ourselves down, a little B2B challenge there, to not hop over to the end customer, so the person who is buying clothes from Zalando, not hop over to their journey, or to our Zalando internal employee journey. But let's say we made it, long story short. Now we needed to get those defined jobs and criteria and fill in the map. And like our case, we customized it a little bit. We added some lanes. We felt like, okay, we needed to show a little bit of what happens on a backstage or what processes there is from Zalando's side, and also what channels we are using. And optimally, now we would launch research activities, we would interview people, and then synthesize those findings. But like is often the case, it's really difficult to get those resources and get the participants from the get-go. So we went with the next best option, which was our existing research. And the experts, our employees, our colleagues who were working with our business partners every day and have been in a team for a long time. So we set up a chain of workshops with them. We did a little bit of divergence, and then what is the other word?
Convergence.
Convergence, thank you. So we gathered all the insights and got it all on the map. And then we went in with a clean-up team. I called them, we were minions. We went and cleaned up and looked at the wordings and if everything is on the right lane, and are these lanes actually the right ones, and are these, have we divided the journey in a way that makes sense? Yeah, and we are in a process of establishing the ways to really bake it into the product development process. So after we have cleaned up the mappings, we add them to our repository. And then there we have defined, okay, who is actually the owner of this? Because usually if everybody's the owner, nobody is the owner. The action is the stuff that we want out of this. We don't do mapping just because it's fun, although it is. But the mapping itself brought us many benefits. First of all, coming together, even though virtually, with the different parts of the company and teammates, and finding those places where we can collaborate and avoid that double work. And I thought that was super valuable. And that's the ongoing story of the mapping in our team. Next, we have some learnings for the future.
Yeah, so of course, like this process is ongoing and it's a new tool that we're rolling out. It's something that we're developing to help collaboration also within this remote hybrid future work. But I think as a facilitator and as a designer, the most important thing that I've learned here is it's a great place to start. In the product development process we have at Zalando, designers get kind of like told what they should be working on. Not all the time, but they're part of the process. But it's often like, okay, where do I start? We have this customer problem we want to solve, but what do I do next? And this is a really great tool for this, like summarizing the jobs to be done that we want to design for, where they are in the journey, really, really helps. Did you also have to take?
Yeah, it's something that really brings people together, and I think another key here is the mindful inclusion. So get those people who are good collaborators. They are not the gatekeepers and saying no to everything, but somebody who is also challenging the teams, because you wanna get it right, and you wanna give the ownership to many people and include people to get those allies that we really need. We can't do it alone, just as product designers or researchers. We need allies from all around the company.
As much as we believe we can. Yeah. So I think, and then also like on the positive side, of course, this is a really great tool to help us achieve a lot of great learnings and a lot of positives that come out. And I think one of them is, well, as I said it before, but I think one of them is also just the collaboration that we have that's been really, really successful to bring in learnings. This talk we've also done with Selena and Giulio, and I can call out half the team members that are also here today and say that we've collaborated and this brings people together. It's a really tool that connects people. Did you also have a learning here?
Yeah. In our case especially, it really opened our eyes to think about it not from our own process point of view, like what happens inside our company, but think of it with the business partner's eyes as much as possible.
Yeah. Of course, everything has its shadow side, and as this is an ongoing learning experience, and we're happy to talk about this later as well, there is challenges. And one of the big challenges that I often see within my own team and other teams is that you really feel the weight and responsibility of all the different problems you have to try and solve for the customer. Just the other week, we were doing a design sprint for adaptive clothing, so customers that have limited mobility, and I really had the responsibility for the designer of like, oh my gosh, I've got to do so much for this customer. How do I manage all of this? So it can be a little bit overwhelming with the transparency of having all the jobs in front of you to figure out which one you're going to solve, and just the weight of the importance of trying to solve those as well. What did you find challenging here?
Yeah, another thing that's really painful is getting the wording right or getting into consensus. It's really hard, and I think the hardest part for our team was to define how do we divide the journey, because there's maybe as many ways as there's people or even more to do that, and that took some time and effort, but slowly I'm working on it and really putting in the effort, we got to some sort of clarity, and I think it's going to be even getting clearer and clearer over time.
Yeah. So I think we've like really gotten too excited, and we've definitely spoken over our time, but I think we'll jump to this slide, which is the main reason that we're here today.
Remember, Addy's got a fence around his team, haven't you? Yeah, he's got...
It's all right, we're not going to poach anyone. You have to come free. It has to be a choice.
Yeah, but we are hiring, and this is just one of the ways we work at the company. And actually, could our Zalando design team please stand up and wave?
Or just wave.
Or just wave. You already stood.
You already made you stand up again.
But come talk to any of us here or online. We are very friendly people, and we have a hiring sprint for product designers coming up. The deadline for registration closed, but it's open for you and your friends until tomorrow. And we are also looking for user researchers and content designers, especially one really nice team in Helsinki is looking for content designers. So if you know anybody, message me or text me. But
you can get Onna's number later.
Oh, yeah. It's not on the screen, I hope.
But yeah, we're located in Dublin, Helsinki, and Berlin. Berlin obviously being the coolest. So Helsinki there. But that's all from us, and thank you for having us. It's been real pleasure.
Thank you. Grab a seat for a sec.
Oh, okay.
We've got 5 minutes, so we might as well grab you while we can. That was fascinating. Thank you. Adam, we had a quick chat on earlier on, but how would you sum up how COVID the last couple of years has impacted on the way you work, but also the business you're doing?
Yeah, sure. I was working with the style advice team. We were there for, I think, about 6 months before COVID hit. And then we were organizing. I was really excited. We had this design sprint all set up. And then, bam, everyone was sent home. And I was facilitating my first remote design sprint, first week of COVID. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? So I think it came as a shock and a surprise. But I think we also... Our response for rituals and the way we work was, okay, we're just going to fill the calendar with meetings. Everyone's going to have coffee chats. We're going to keep doing the planks. And the calendar, like the calendar lag was like the baggage there was so much. And then we took a very thoughtful process where we just cut everything out. We said, whatever we need, we can put back in. Yeah. And I hope that continues, like now that we start to open up and work in a hybrid model, I hope that continues, fingers crossed. Mm-hmm. But it's been a learning process. And I think we also have a community manager here and really a great design operations team. So they do an awesome job.
And are you home working? You're all home working at the moment? Or you're hybrid, so you're home working at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that? Would you rather that?
I mostly enjoy it. I like the freedom of choosing. Of course, I miss the people at the office and the collaboration. But I'm also not in the camp that everything is better at the office and everything is better as paper post-its.
Yeah, it strikes me with the last couple of days, and I have done nothing. Well, I've done mostly COVID reporting of the last 2 years because it's dominated the news agenda. So I've spoken to many businesses, many sectors, many industries. The tech industry strikes me as the one that has very, very quickly adapted when the lockdown hit and everything shut down. Do you think that's the nature of the people that work in it, the nature of what you do? Because it seems to me that there's been positives for the tech industry out of COVID, but the adaptation was really quick? Am I just talking to companies that had adapted quickly?
I mean, Zalando is an online retailer, so
Yeah.
So it was in our benefit, I
But
think, to adapt.
in general, I suppose.
Yeah, I think in general, I mean, you put a bunch of problem solvers in a room, they're probably going to try and solve the problem, whether it be the way that they work or the challenge that they're working on. So maybe it's in our nature. I would love to say that the German government is also getting there, but it's slow on the uptake. But yeah, obviously policy and law has ramifications that go beyond the problems. I don't know, how's it in Helsinki?
What do you think?
I think Helsinki was a little bit ahead of the curve. We like to keep to ourselves, so everybody was like, yay, well, finally I don't need to interact with anybody. And we had in many companies already these hybrid work styles, so it was pretty normal way of working. So.
And out of interest, we were speaking to Hella yesterday from Denmark, talking about how the public in Denmark adapted very quickly to the COVID app. It was not without controversy here. What about Finland? I presume you had a contact trace type app, a COVID app? Yeah, so
did.
like a passport.
Yeah.
So was it the same in Denmark where there was a high trust in the government, so it was normalized, it was kind of a smooth process?
Yeah, actually, I don't think we had the passport. We adopted it really late after we looked at, okay, what is Denmark doing? Okay, is it working there? But we had this like a tracker app that everybody downloaded. Not much came out of it. But I think it's similar in Finland, that people have really high trust in government.
It wasn't without controversy in Germany, though, was it?
Yeah, I'm not German, but I've been there for 8 years, and of course there's history there. There was obviously a high level of scrutiny of the app and a lot of conversation.
The data,
Yeah, so it took some time, but I think it definitely has helped a lot, and it's something that people trust. I'm looking at my German colleagues.
Yeah, it's interesting that. Just before you go, Adam, we spoke to Onna about this briefly, but Stuart's talk was very thought-provoking. In terms of where you think the tech industry is, diversity, inclusion, and also in accessibility, what would the report card be from you as to where we are and how much further we need to go?
Oh, so much further.
Yeah.
From my point of view, like in terms of any innovation, any technology that comes out, if you think about cars, the seatbelt, I mean, I'm looking for the open kind of collaborative mindset of the 3-point seatbelt. You know, they never patented this, they never looked for money. So whereas like the 3-point seatbelt for our online safety and security, and I think that's something that we as designers get to participate and also developers. And the things that we build, are we going to look for profit for these great safety features, or are we going to look to open them up and share them widely? So these standards that can really help. And I think we're in that battle at the moment where there is money to be made, but if there's great safety controls or innovation or things that make, social media and mental health, if anyone's read the Hooked book, like, do we put in hooked breakers, or if someone could develop that, so once someone is going too far beyond and becoming addicted to TikTok every day, are we able to put in, these kind of measuring apps? And I think like the big Apple and Google are starting to realize that now, that it's actually way better on the long run to control it early. But I wish it was more open and transparent how this has been adapted.
There's an interesting book, because we did a lot of tech during the pandemic, obviously. There's a good book, and I will Google it, by a Scottish writer, a gamer, about the benefits of gaming in mental health situations. It's really, really interesting, actually. Scottish guy we have on a lot. I'll find the name of it. I realise we're just on time, actually. Onna and Adam will obviously be available for the rest of the day, through in coffee and all the rest of it. Should we say again, 20 minutes, so we come back at 4:10 for the last couple of speakers. But guys, thank you so much. That was fascinating. Adam and Onna, thank you.